FGMX and welcome back to another video where today I'm going to be showing you guys how you can easily create this gold text and how you can use this technique and apply it to other things like maybe a golden frame. So let's get started. So this is basically what we're going to be making today. So first thing we want to do is create a new project and we'll just call it Untitled. And what we're going to first do is create a background. Now I'm going to create a gradient and this is the background that we're going to be using. Next thing we want to do is create a text layer and make sure you have it in some font that actually makes sense to have a gold effect. So I'm using Times New Roman and use a color that you can easily make out. So I'll use white for now. So let's add our text. So I'm going to say gold in all caps. And I'm just going to scale it up quickly. And it can be however you want. So next thing what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to rasterize this layer. But there's actually another way to do it without rasterizing the layer. But I'm just going to rasterize it for now. So once you rasterize it, you'll see that when you're scaling it, it'll start to lose quality. So that's why make sure you adjust your scale before you rasterize it. Now, next thing you want to do is hold Control or Command and click on this icon here, on the icon of the text layer. Now, next thing you want to do is select your gradient tool. Now, if your gradient tool isn't selected, all you need to do is click and hold on the paint bucket, and you can select the gradient tool. Now, next thing you want to do is go up here and click on the gradient editor and create a gradient that kind of looks like gold colors. So kind of like this. So it's kind of like a warm orange color, a light warm orange color going to a more yellow orange color. So just create kind of like a gradient like that and hit OK once you're done creating it. Now, if you want, you can save it as a preset so you can quickly access it if you're going to be making more of those. So click OK, and we're going to draw it from top to bottom. So hold Shift to get a straight line, and there you go. So Control or Command D to deselect, and as you can see here, this is the perfect color that we want it to be. Now, the technique that I'm going to be showing you, it can be applied to anything. So what you want to do is you want to go to FX, over here, Effects, and Bevel and Emboss. Now, what you want to do is, in Photoshop, there's not such thing as a perfect copy. So you can just mess around with it. You don't have to follow my exact instructions. But if you would like what I have, then go ahead and follow this. So for the effect that I'm going for, I'm going to go for the gloss contour as these two hills over here. And for the depth, I'm going to keep it pretty high. And for the scaling, for the size, I'm just going to move it up here. So now this looks like the gold effect that I want, but it might not necessarily be the gold effect that you might want or anybody else might want. So just keep messing around with it, and I'm sure that you'll eventually find something that you'll like. So just mess around with all of these, and if you want, you can even add some of these other effects, but I'm not going to worry about this for now. So let's hit OK. And we've got our main effect down. Now let's add the subtitle. Now for each text size, the same controls do not apply. So let's say for the big one, you have a size at like 20 or something. For smaller text, since it's smaller, you might have to mess around with other sliders to make it look good. So I'm going to subtitle this a new series on Netflix. It sounds like kind of like that, so that's why I decided. So again, make sure you scale it up before you rasterize the layer. There we go. And let me center the text like that. And let's rasterize the type. Apply the gradient on here. So real quick, let's apply the gradient. There we go. Now we can apply the bell and emboss effect. So let's zoom in a little bit and let's see how we can make this better. So I think decreasing the size might be a good way to do it. But what I also want to do is I want to differentiate the color from this one, from the one on the top. So I'm just gonna maybe add a color overlay to this. So I'm gonna add more of an orange color. So then I decrease the opacity until I get something similar. Yes, that's perfect. So now I got this. But this effect does not only apply to text, it also applies to any other objects. So let's create a rectangle. So let's make this 1920 for the rectangle size, and by 1080. That's the size of this project. So let's hit OK, and there we go. Now we have our rectangle the size of our project. There we go. Now I'm just gonna adjust everything. So there we go. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna apply the gradient on there by rasterizing, and there we go. Now I'm gonna apply the bell and emboss effect. Now again, so it's gonna be different for everybody. So this for me doesn't look as good as decreasing the bevel. Now this is the effect that I am going for. There we go. There we go. And that's basically the effect I was going for. So it's kind of like a window or a frame, and this looks pretty good. Now you don't have to stop there. You can create basically anything that you want with this technique that I'm showing you guys. And that's basically all I have to say for this tutorial. And guys, the free intro giveaway is coming next week, and I will also give you guys a preview of the free intro that I'm giving away. So make sure you stay tuned for that. And yeah guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.